Hello guys, and welcome to another replay analysis with Lundrill, our boy. This is a Gold League Zerg versus Protoss. And we're going to be helping him understand how to deal with all sorts of things. We're jumping into this right now. Let's see what's going on. Excuse me. And it's a ZvP. So Gold League ZvP. So far, things seem okay. The drone was started within the first couple seconds. Overlord moved pretty soon after. Nice, nice, nice. 13 Overlord. Perfect. Yo, TWC blank, thank you very much for the conversion of the Prime to a Tier 1. Appreciate you, man. You are helping. Thank you, thank you. Alright, so your second Overlord's going to the natural. I like it. Your drone is going to the natural as well. I would say your drone's going to the natural a tad bit early. You want to ideally send your drone to the natural around 180 to like 190 minerals in the bank. And you set your drone probably like at 160, according to where you're at right now. Or like 150 even. Let's see. You pull your drone off right now at 165. So that's a bit early. And the reason why that is because your drone's going to be, if you're going to go for a natural, your drone's going to be chilling here for a while now. So realistically, the drone was chilling for probably a total of like 4 seconds, 5 seconds. And it's not the end of the world. I'm not going to be like, dude, this just lost you the game. No. But it did probably cost you about 5 minerals. Just to send it there early. So it's a little bit of a hiccup in your build. It's minor, but it is a little bit of one. Send your drone out there, honestly, around like 190. And then you'll be great. You'll be good to go. Your drone will get here like right as you hit 300 if you send it at like 190. All right, and then you're making. What are you doing now with your larva? Double drones, triple drones. You started them all as well, one after the other. You didn't wait until you had all 3 at once. That's good. Means you're trying to do 5 SD. And now you go for a pool. Same thing again there. Try to get in the habit of sending your shit to a building spot before you have the money for it, but doing it at the appropriate time. So you did it a little too early with your hatchery, and you did your pool a little too late. So you can see like right now, if you're gonna send this drone to build it, you might as well send it like down here to build it or something, because you're literally like, you should be pulling a drone off now like at 180 to build that pool like right at 200, because now you're ready to build it, and your pool could be started at 114 but gets started actually at 118, which is again about 4 seconds late. So it's minor inefficiencies. Just make sure you always want to have whatever you're going to build, have something like, especially if it's early, like the Roach Warren, not as impactful. The Hydrogen, not as impactful. The Spire, not as impactful. Like if you have it like 3 seconds late or 4 seconds late, like, yeah, you don't ever want anything to be late, but those aren't as impactful. But the pool is. The Roach Warren would be very impactful if like you were getting cannon rushed, but the pool is very impactful always, because this is access to everything. This is access to your queens, access to your lair, access to everything else. So this is your generalized initial tech path. And having it be 4 seconds late just because you had a drone chilling for a little bit, that's a big deal. Like that kind of shit adds up. So I can already see 2 minor inefficiencies in your build of your hatchery and your pool now. It's, again, not game ending, but if this keeps happening throughout the game, it's going to slow everything down for you. Another thing too is I would recommend always against Protoss, never build your pool near the cliff of your ramp. Never do that. I'm guilty of myself doing this myself as well sometimes. But try your best to never do this, and the reason why is because if you did get cannon rushed and he built a cannon rush right there, your pool and your drones in this patch would get fucked. But if you didn't have your pool here and instead it was like over here or over here, if he cannon rushes you, the only thing that's going to get fucked is like the side of your mineral patch. I'm pretty sure a cannon can reach from there to the mineral line, the one patch. I'm pretty sure it can. So yeah, don't ever build here. Try your best to never build near the ramp, because if you get cannon rushed, it just means your pool's gonna die for sure. It's pretty shitty. Yo, Stray, thank you for the bits, man.
Just watch the streamer experience. You should do that again sometime. That was fun. D.
Thank you, Zrave. Alright. So your overlord's chilling in front of your natural. I like this. Your first overlord's crossing the map. It's fine. I don't mind your path either. Alright, so now you're starting queens. You're still droning. Everything is fine. And did you said this is B to GM, I believe? I want to see your gas timing as well. I want to see your pull timing too. So you went 16. You go 18 again. You go 16, 18, and then with your gas, if your gas is 20, this is proper timings for B to GM. Yeah, that's good. Your timings are, other than the little inefficiency of like time, your build order is fine. So we'll speed it up now back to kind of where you just were. You got double queen started. You're making drones. Good shit, good shit, good shit. Okay. Now here's the big thing. Your scout. What are you looking to look at here? I'm curious. Okay, so you're going deeper into his base. You should know automatically, the second you see no natural, that is a big sign, like, oh, okay, aggression is going to come my way. And if you're doing B to GM style, you're skipping Zergling speed. Right? Like, you're not, Lings are not an option for you, really, because you're not going to go for Zergling speed. Like, if you really had to make them, you would, but you're skipping Ling speed. That's the whole point of this build, is you go fast roaches, and you wall off and shit like that. So what your initial reaction should always be, and this is what I said in B to GM as well a few times, if you do not see a natural from your opponent, you make a spine crawler. Just start one immediately with like one of these drones or something. Just start a spine. So we'll see how long that takes you to do that. And also, here's another thing. Not seeing a natural is a big deal. It means your opponent's not really prioritizing the expansion, because if we're comparing his build to your build, he hasn't, like, yes, Zerg still does expand faster than other races, but he hasn't even started an expansion, and yours is done. This is a big fucking like, it's massive discrepancy in time there. Not having a natural started even when yours is now being saturated is, you've now confirmed, okay, I'm doing a 2 base versus a 1 base player. So spine crawler, pretty huge. And now seeing this, I would be like, okay, I wouldn't be confused, but I would say this. He does not have production at his base. He does not have any production at his base. That's number one. Number one is no production. There's no ramp block of gateway, anything like that. This guy doesn't give a fuck if you run Lings across the map and attack him, because there's no way he's going to block his ramp. Now, here's another thing. So, with no production being at his base right now, normally against Zerg players, the other races, Protoss and Terran, will always block their ramp, again, because there's always a fear of Lings just running in their base for free. So not seeing that makes you feel like there's higher chances of it being proxy now. And then on top of that, think about the only logical reason why this fucking dude would ever have 4 pylons at his base. Why would that ever make sense? Think about it for a second. Now this, just know, the only read I want you, I'm doing advanced reaction analysis here, but, and I'll tell you what that means in a second, but just know if he doesn't have an expansion, you have to make a fucking spine. You have to make a spine. Okay? Makes sense to make a spine if there's no natural. But now think about this, okay? Let me make sense of this guy's build for a second here. If this guy makes no natural, no production. That increases the chance of proxy. And now if he's making a lot of pylons like this, the only thing that could make sense of this is that he's about to explode in supply. And if he's about to explode in supply, it means he probably has a lot of gateways. So what I would say is, if I was playing this game, I would see this and be like, okay, this is fucking awkward, but I bet he doesn't have gas now. I bet this dude does not have gas. Because if he doesn't have gas and he makes 4 pylons and he doesn't have a natural, he doesn't have production at his base, it means he's probably proxied multiple gateways that he's going to explode his supply with as soon as they're done, and he doesn't want to be supply blocked. That's what I would... That's the only logical way of anything that you should be threatened by would make sense. Now, if someone says, he's just building pylons because he's trolling. You shouldn't look at it that way, because that's just fucking... Like, if he was doing that, then who cares? Even if you didn't think he was doing that at first, he'd win anyways. It doesn't matter, because he's trolling. Who gives a shit? But yeah, this would make sense for him having a large supply cushion to proxy gateways. And now he doesn't have a he has 1 gateway at his base. He has 2 gateways at his base. This build is getting weirder. And you just saw a bunch of zealots. Now he has 3 gateways. Now he has 4 gateways. Okay. So yeah, it's fine. I mean, this build sucks. I'm just gonna throw that out there. This Protoss' build is terrible. So, reacting to this now, you should even more, like, now you've confirmed it. All I would say you should do now, wall your base off. Like, you should already have a spine started. You should already have a spine started. You can keep making drones. Spore. No. Lundell, you're fucking crazy. You should already have a spine that was started because he doesn't have a natural, right? And then that spine should be like halfway done right now. Or like 2/3 of the way done. It should almost be done. And the second you've confirmed this... Flying Zealots. Lundell, the second you've confirmed this, you should be like, Roach Warren, Evo, Evo. Like, wall that fucking thing off. Wall your base off. And then just make maybe like 2 more spines. Seriously. Just be like, okay, I got spine to Carl number 1 behind my wall. I'll just add in spine 2 and 3 right now. I'll just build them. And if you have to stop spinning your larva for just a sec, that's okay. And the reason why is because you are reacting to aggression. You are not just... Like, you've confirmed its aggression. You confirmed it is no natural. You've confirmed it's 4 gates at this point now. So, that's going to kill you if you don't react at all. Walling your base off and having a spine color or a couple spines behind it would be the easiest way to deal with this. You could then also build a second queen off your natural while you also start a layer. And you could go into, your 3 queen layer roaches. And while you're making your layer, I'm not telling you to make zerglings, because again, if you're going to wall off and make spines, that's the supplement for zergling. That's what replaces zergling there. If you were going to make zerglings, you could make like the 1 or 2 spines, no wall off, and make zerglings. So you could absorb them that way. So you spend less drones on investing into defense, because you don't have to build buildings to build walls with, but instead you just make your larvae into lings. So you could do that too, but I'm not telling you to do that because you're not doing a speedling style. You're doing a B to GM gasless, or a speedless style. So it would make more sense for you to do a wall here, because it would get you the roaches you need to have anyways, and the evos you need to have anyways. And when 4 zealots walk up against a wall, trust me, the zealots are gonna be like, fuck my life, this sucks. Because they're gonna walk up against the wall, and 3 spines and like 2 queens just smacking a zealot. That zealot's gonna die in about 2 seconds. 3 spines does 75 to a zealot, because spine color does 25 damage each. A zealot has 150 hit points. A zealot actually has 1 armor though, so a zealot would actually live. The armor would proc 4 times against the zealot from a spine color. So a zealot, if it gets poked 6 times, which is 75, because it is 25 each, Essentially, what I'm trying to say is, and I don't want to make it confusing with all the numbers, a Zealot would live with 4 hit points. Okay, just know that. If 3 spines poked a Zealot twice each, it would live with 4 hit points. And 4 hit points would be a queen going, and then the Zealot's dead. So, if you had 3 spines and 2 queens, you would be popping Zealots like crazy behind your wall. And then if he waits and waits and waits and waits, and he's like, shit, okay, I don't want to send 4 Zealots at a time at that wall. I'm just going to wait till I stockpile like 20 of them, or like 16 of them. You know what's going to happen by then? You should easily be able to fully saturate your natural if he waits that long and have roaches. Wait, why doesn't it live with 6 hit points? The reason a Zealot does not live with 6 hit points, and then it only lives with 4, is because a Zealot has 100 hit points, and it has 50 shields. 50 shields has no armor values on it. 100 hit points has 1 armor passively valued on it. So if a spine color does 25, 25, 25, 25, 25, the first 2 hits are going to do 25, 25 because the shields have no armor value. And then the next 4 hits are going to be affected by 1 armor, so it's going to live with 4. So anyways, my point is you should definitely be making spines right now and a wall. If you don't react to this at all, it's a total misunderstanding of how to react to the situation, and now you know. But we'll see what goes on. The spores is definitely a bad idea. This is everything he has right now. And also just to throw this out there, okay? Just to throw this out there. Think about this. What's your investment so far, right? What's your investment? You have 25 drones. You have 2 hatcheries. Yo, J-Stay, thank you for the bits, man. You have 2 hatcheries, 25 drones. You have a spawning pool, and you have 3 overlords. Or rather 4. You have 4. You have 4 overlords, okay? And what have you scouted from him? You've scouted 5 pylons, 4 gateways, and zealots. There is no reason to think here right now, like, I'm honestly assuming you made these because I don't think you're afraid of like an oracle or something like that. I think you made these because you're afraid of DTs. If I had to guess. If I had to guess, I would say you would be like, fuck, I don't want to die to DTs. Nuh-uh. Or something like that. That's what my guess would be. I built the spore because I thought he is going oracle or something like that. Oh, you did think he was going to go oracle. Okay. So this kind of a build, just know this as well, okay? Everything you saw, there's no reason why this would ever be an oracle. If someone does not build production at their base, and they just like proxied an oracle, like proxied like 1 gateway, core, and oracle, like all the way over here, just to make like 1 oracle get in your base really fast, and they had nothing here, that's very unrealistic. And the reason why is because if you just walk across the map with like 10 zerglings, the oracle would have to be recalled or else the Protoss dies. No Protoss will ever play like that if they go oracle. Now, they could go proxy Stargate. I'm not saying that that's not a thing. But they would never leave their base wide open like this and go proxy Oracle. Or, like, Oracle in general. This is awful for them to go Oracle. It makes no sense, is my point. This is definitely... And whenever you see production not here, it means proxy. And the fact that he put his production here is super fucking awkward. Because this is such a fail rush. This is like the weakest form of a forgate you could ever have. Because it has to walk across the whole fucking map. It has to walk for like 40 seconds to your base. Or like, honestly, with how slow a Zealot runs, maybe like 50 seconds. Like it's... Yeah, Sir Gamer More, thank you, man. It counts. It does count. Thank you very much for the sub. Appreciate you, dude. This... So, and also just know, okay? Like, we'll drop the spore thing for a second here. The point is there's no oracle. There's fucking no way an oracle could exist here. Because again, one of the biggest signs of all, but without even knowing what we're about to talk about in just a second, without even knowing that, just knowing that you can see he doesn't have production here, and he doesn't have a wall here. Doesn't have like a gateway and a core, or a gateway and a core. Like, he has no type of fucking SimCity in front of his base to guard himself against Zerglings. No one is ever gonna go Oracle with that. It always means proxy, and if someone proxies you this fast, it's not a Stargate. A Stargate can't even exist in the game until like 4 minutes. Or like 3:30. So it's still a ways out. Now, let's talk about the thing that's important here. This is so what I'm talking about might sound advanced if you're lower league, and you might be like, wait, ViBE, I don't get where you coming to these conclusions. Okay? Doesn't make any fucking sense. Like how they do weird shit all the time. Okay, sure, fair enough. Okay, now think about this though. This rules out all weird ass people. This is the big one. Compare your build to his build. Again. Now you're Zerg and he's Protoss. Obviously you're not the same race. But it's impossible for Protoss. Watch this. It's impossible for right now, Protoss, to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pylons. 1, 2. Those 3 zealots you just saw right there. 4 zealots you just saw right there. And here's the thing. Look at this, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pylons. 1, 2, 3, 4 gateways. 1, 2, 3, 4 zealots. That you just saw the 4th one. And every gateway is going... It's glowing right now, which means they're all producing a zealot. Like, doesn't mean that, okay, it doesn't necessarily mean a zealot. It just means it's producing. But you also are not going to see a Protoss with 4 gates this fast also have gases. That's not viable. So, this right here, okay? 100 minerals per. 100 minerals per. 150 minerals per. This is 600 minerals in gateways. This is 500 minerals in pylons. And this is 800 minerals in zealots that you already know about. Hotcat, thank you very much for the 26-month prime, dude. Much love, dude. Appreciate you. So 800 plus 600 plus 500, which is 1900. This is 1900 minerals that you already know about with that one overlord just going. And if you don't know that that's 1900 minerals, I would say it would be a good idea in the future to start working on understanding how much things cost. Like, you don't have to add it up in your head. Like, I literally would not add this up in my head and be like, how much is that exactly? I wouldn't care that much. I would just know, yeah, this fucking dude is, like, pumping shit like crazy right now. Like, this is way too fucking much for one base. To have all these, like, other tech structures and expansions. Like, if I saw this and I was playing this game myself and someone was in my stream being like, does he have a hidden base? I'd be like, fuck no, he doesn't have a hidden base. This is way too much fucking money to spend on one base to now also have hidden bases. This is it. This is all he has. Because compare it to what you have. You have 4 drones on your natural. You have a hatchery and a queen. You have a main with a fully saturated mineral line. So does he. Like, he's gonna, you know he's gonna have a fully saturated mineral line as well. You know he's gonna have that. Because you start with 12 and all he had to do is make 4 probes to get there. And it's been almost 3 minutes for that. Point though is, your investments are similar. This is similar. Like, if we're talking about 1900 minerals, okay, look at Zerg here. 300, 150, 150. That's another 300, 200, 300, 300, 200. That's now 800 right there. Then you got overlords. You've got 1200 now because 100 minerals per overlord. So now you're at 1200. Now you have extra drones. Over 16, you've made. Over 16, you've made 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 11 drones so far. So 11 drones is 550. So 1200 plus 550 is 1750. So you're very fucking close to his expenses so far. And that's all your expenses up to this point. And if you can kind of just like again, you don't have to be perfect on it. You do not have to be perfect on it. But if you can, and by the way, for people who are like, why did you click the buildings and count 50 for each one of them? It's because we're also including the drone that died. The drone that sacrificed itself to become the building, because that's a 50 cost right there. If you can kind of like deduce that in your head and be like, yeah, no, we're about the same. It seems roughly about the same about how much he has spent and how much I have spent. It makes sense. Then you can understand it and you can be like, yeah, no, there's like, this is it. This is what he's got so far. And you don't have to do this all game. You just have to do this in the early game. Just kind of compare what he currently has to what you currently have. And like, this is how you can kind of deduce like what could happen. Okay, this is it. Again, this is above Gold League. What I'm telling you right now is like Diamond League. It's just a way to expand your thought process. Now, if we drop this, what we're talking about, we're going to take this lesson back to Gold League again. We're taking it back to Gold League. And we'll make it really basic now. If you see a player with 1 base, 4 gateways, he's all-inning you. And what do you do against someone who's all-inning you? You make a fucking spine crawler. Make a couple spine crawlers if you feel like you have to. I would totally be okay with you making a couple spines versus 4 gates. And then also, you see what he's making, which is zealots. And what's a great way to fuck a zealot over? Walling him out. Just make a wall. This works also against zerglings greatly. Like anything that's melee, you make a wall, suddenly they're just like pieces of shit. Because the spines can poke them over the wall. It buys the time for spines to do damage for longer. And then all the units die meleeing down your Evo chambers and shit. So you should 100% be making a wall right now. And you saw literally for the longest time, zealot, 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 zealot. Question, when should I start the wall? You should have started a spine the second you did not see a natural. And you should have started a wall the second you saw those fucking zealots right here. You should already have a spine started right now. And the fact that you should have already been ready to make a wall because you should have assumed this is going to be proxy 4 gate as soon as you saw no production here. So let me say this. Let me say this. I'll say it like this. This will be better. This is how you should react to this. I'm Zerg and I'm over here. You're already making a reaction right now. What is the reaction? There's nothing here. This dude doesn't give a fuck if he has a natural or not in terms of like if you're going to harass it with zerglings. He doesn't give a shit about walling the front of his natural. This is already awkward for Protoss for the 2-base sense of Protoss. This is already weird. You're like, Protoss, do you not like expansions? Because you don't really care about walling the front of your natural off. So this is already weird. This should now tip your hat off a little bit to be like, okay. The signs of aggression now are going to be higher. Like this right here. Okay? This is, again, this might be above Gold League again, but we're going to break this down. This is aggressive for Protoss. Why is that? Because they're not setting up to defend a natural. So, what's the opposite of that? They're going to probably be aggressive. It's not a guarantee, but it makes sense that they would be aggressive now. Because they're not trying to set up for defending their natural. So, moving forward. So, that's a sign already. And now, there's no fucking natural at all. You can see where the circle is. This is where the nexus would be. You can see the nexus right here. There's no nexus. There's no nexus at all. So now you're like, well, not only is he not setting up to defend a natural, he doesn't even have one. And it shouldn't be done right now, but his natural 100% should be started right now if he was making one. Totally. His natural should be like 50% of the way done right now, or like 40% of the way done right now. He should totally have it started already if he was going to make one. So now you see, okay, no natural. Here's your next sign. He's not... Now, even further, this is even a bigger sign of aggression. He doesn't give a fuck about defending his natural by having a wall in front of it. Now he doesn't give a fuck about defending his main base. Because there's nothing here. And if there's nothing here, you know what? He's probably going to adopt for a mindset. The best defense is a good offense. He's like, I don't give a fuck about defending my base because I'm going to make you defend yours. I'm going to keep you busy. So this even furthermore insinuates aggression. As soon as I saw that, I would have made a spine. 100%. Well, realistically for you in Gold League, as soon as you saw this, make a spine. But this is like, make that spine. It's like alarms are sounding now. Make that fucking spine crawler. You need it. This is aggressive. Super aggressive. You should have already started one. And then seeing this, I'd be like, okay. It makes, literally, this is now, seeing this, I'd be like, mineral build. Do you have 4 overlords yet? Think about it like this. Do you have 4 overlords yet? No, you have 2. And are you supply blocked? Not really. I mean, yes, you are. But, like, you just got here. You haven't been supply blocked for like the last 30 seconds or something like that, and you are making another 2. But my point is you don't need 4 fucking overlords already done. Like he has 4 pylons that you can clearly see that are already done. So this is a supply heavy build. This is a mineral heavy build. This already would tell me he doesn't have gas. You cannot fucking go 4 overlords and then also go gas and then fucking utilize that. Because think about how efficient that would be. If this fucking dude had double gas early and he went mass supply like that, his supply, if he went double gas, would be like 22 or 24, not 28. Because it's way more expensive to mine gas on your economy because you have to mine less minerals for a little while until you saturate it. So the chances of him having double gas in a way that would be threatening, and the way that it would be threatening is if he had it for a while to make like an oracle really fast or something like that, because you could tech to it quicker. But even then, you have to also understand build times of buildings. My point I'm trying to make here is there is nothing right now in this game that could be threatening in terms of gas, because if he would have taken the gas really early to do something that could have essentially been threatening with gas, he wouldn't be able to afford shit anyways with how inefficient he's being with his money. This is so fucking much money spent on pylons. And if he was at like 22 supply out of like 55, you'd be like, okay. The fuck? Like, that is super inefficient. Super inefficient. So again, right now, this tells you it's a mineral build. It's the only way it's efficient. It's the only way this is efficient is because this is too much fucking money. If you're wrong and it is gas, trust me, you're still going to win even if you're wrong, because it's so fucking inefficiently bad if he did take a gas. This is one of those things where I'm always trying to talk about efficiency really hard. If you do something massively inefficient and you assume that they're not doing the inefficient thing, you assume that whatever they're doing is the most efficient way to do something, and this would be pure minerals. You would assume this is pure minerals because it's too much supply too fast, and you can't take supply super fast if you're going for gas. That does not what gas means. Gas slows you down to tech to things. So you would assume this is mineral heavy, and if you did, what costs minerals for Protoss? Nexus? Cannons? But why the fuck would you make so many pylons with cannons? Because cannons don't cost supply, so cannons gets kind of ruled out again. Nexus, pylon, gateway, zealot, probe. Either this dude, and then also you would assume it's not going to be Nexus and probe, because why the fuck would you make so many pylons again if you're going to go for proxy bases and weird shit like hidden bases? Because Nexus gives supply, so it does the same thing as a pylon does. It just also is able to produce probes. So why would you go crazy on pylons while making Nexuses with probes? So it kind of rules out the cannon rush and the Nexus. Now what do you have left? The initial Nexus and probe, pylon, gateway, zealot. Now that seems like your only option. Like, logically speaking, that's what this is going to be. Why the fuck would he go crazy supply openings for cannons or Nexus? But then you think about the final option. Why would he go crazy supply early on for lots of gateway zealot? Oh, that makes sense now, because gateway, like having 4 gates and zealots is 8 supply, 8 supply, 8 supply, 8 supply, 8 supply. ViBE, does this run through your head every game? Yeah, but you know how long it takes me to run through this in my head every game? About 2 seconds. I have to explain this for about 50 times longer than I can think about it. Because I've actually gotten to a point in StarCraft where I can look at something and know what it is. I don't have to like sit here and deduce piece by piece by piece by piece. Because I have a lot of experience with this game. Major Burns. Thank you very much for the Twitch Prime. Much love, man. Appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, man. Thank you. But if you think about it logically, it makes sense that it's going to be zealots. Right? So now, we're going back to your original question. You, again, should have already had a spine started. You should have already had a spine started, but not seeing this and seeing this. You fucking start that wall as soon as your creep is touching your wall here. This should be now like, okay, the second the creep is like pushed enough to be at the wall, we make that fucking building. Because logically speaking, zealots is the only thing that he could be doing here. That would be the only threatening thing that could happen. Also, to put it out there too, he's already also missed the window for cannon rush. Like, if he shows up with a probe right now, And he walks in here and he's like, a probe goes, and he makes a pylon right there, and you're like, bro, I have fucking queens spawning right now. What are you doing? The probe is like building the pylon. He's like, Legacy of the Void cinematic. No, this isn't the Legacy of the Void cinematic. I'm sorry. And then he tries to start one cannon. Probe fucking dies. Queens deny the cannon and then kill the pylon. So it's not a cannon rush either for that reason. He missed the window to do it. And now, again, if you hadn't started it yet, if you hadn't even started, because I'm not telling you to make a full wall when you made those pylons, but you should have started getting ready to build your roach warren in like an evo chamber. But the second you saw this is a full confirmation. You connect that, you make a wall right now. You make a wall, and I would, if I were you, I would be like, make like 2 more spines while you're at it. Just make roach warren, evo, connect them all, wall it off, so it'd be like a roach warren, an evo, and evo. You connect them all, no gaps in your buildings. You connect them so the zealots can't just walk into your base, and you make a wall. And with your 1 spine that's already going to be finishing now, you uproot it, you put it against the edge of the wall so you have it behind them so you can poke over it, and then you make 2 more spines next to it, behind the wall, on your side. And then by the time the zealots get across the map, your 2 extra spines would be going like they be finishing right there, and your 1 spine would have been done for a while because you didn't know it was not proxied. That 1 spine would have helped your fucking ass so much though if it was a proxy. Because if it was a proxy 4-gate, like right there, for instance, your wall would have been still under construction while the zealots would have walked up the ramp and started smacking your wall. And that 1 spine would be smacking the zealots off of it to help your wall not get killed while it's under construction. So it all makes sense logically, and it's safe, and it's not too inefficient for you to defend what you're up against. But the second you've confirmed it, this is all in. So now we're gonna not stop it anymore. We're gonna let it go. But that's how you should have built your wall, and like the timings of how it should have all made sense. And again, you know what he's doing, but you've made 0 reaction. Here's your first roach warren. Here's your, okay, you are starting a wall. Okay, you didn't make a wall though. You left a gap. That is a gap. This is not a wall. Zealots will walk in like this. They'll just walk through that doorway right there. Make a wall against this. Like, connect that shit. I'm glad you did try though, but you definitely fucked it up. Another thing too is you didn't make spines, and you definitely want to make spines. Like, I wish these were 2 spines instead of 2 spores, and then you just had them here. But the fact that you didn't connect it means you're dead. If he doesn't realize your wall is open, you have a little bit more of a chance, but even then, the fact that you don't have spines, queens themselves are never going to kill this wall fast enough. Or kill the zealots fast enough off the wall. He could 100% walk in your base right there. Did you see that? You see that zealot just walk through that? See, like, he didn't notice that. But watch, guys. If you didn't notice the zealot, watch. The zealot's like... This is the other zealot with like 200 IQ. Or is it this one? It's this one. This zealot, this is the only 200 IQ zealot. He's like, guys! The fuck did you beat down a wall for? There's a door right here. So, yeah. You needed to make spines. Spines, think about it like this, okay? A queen does about like 1/3 the damage a spine does. A queen is going to take a lot longer to kill the zealot. So if you had a spine, and a queen and a spine cost the exact same amount of money, you have to sacrifice a drone to make a spine, which is 50 minerals, and then it's 100 minerals to make the spine, so 150 in total. A queen is also 150 in total. But a spine hits so much harder at killing this shit. So, yeah. Like, if you had spines here, you'd have been fine. And then all that would have happened then is your spines would have helped you kill him off of your wall as he's trying to break it down. And the second your roach warren's done, and again, you should have reacted by making your roach warren a lot sooner than you did. You should have made. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. This is the last thing we'll talk about. You should have been making the Roachborn already, like, right now. You could have made your Roachborn, like, in the center, or we'll just say, for the sake of simplicity, Creep. You could have made your Roachborn right now, right there. Right there. Creep is covering that already. You could have made your Roachborn right there. Right now. And if you would have started it at 241, you're, we'll see how long it takes you. We'll say 241. So when did you actually build it? You built it at 314. So you reacted really fucking late. So you had all these signs that told you all in, all in, all in, all in, all in, and then you actually saw it. And you reacted to this, like when I told you at 241 to build your Roachborn, you had already seen this at 241. You already saw it. So you should have started it at then. Like, you already knew what was happening. This is not macro. This is not something that's going to be later on in the game. This is like, he's going to kill you right now. He's going to make zealots. Nobody, here's the thing too. 4-gate this fast is not like Wings of Liberty 4-gate where it's like, oh, he's going to make some sentries and some stalkers. And like, that build sucks dick. Don't ever, anyone who ever thinks that that build is viable anymore, it's not. The only thing that's viable out of a early gateway pressure like that, the most similar way it used to be, is if you open up a Robo really fast after your core, and a Prism flies across the map with just a bunch of warp gates, and you just warp in as fast as you can. So you have a Prism included with that. It's not just like a 4-gate. That's the closest build to an old 4-gate, but like 4-gates nowadays is not what it meant before. 4-gates early game like this nowadays is mass zealot all-ins. And this is probably the worst form of that I've ever seen. Because this 4-gate and pylon should actually be like right here. Or like right there. Or like right here or something. Like right around your base. So that his zealots don't have to walk for almost a minute to your base. Instead they walk for 10 seconds or like 5 seconds and they're at your base. So yeah, again, your Roachborn went down like 23 seconds late or so. 33 seconds late. This is very late. So if we think about how the build time of Roachborn is, it's 39 seconds in total. He shows up and his first zealot starts smacking this shit at 17 seconds of production. If you made it at 241, it would have been done by now. And here's the thing that's crazy too. When a building is done to when a building is not done, it does or doesn't have armor. When it's in a big little zit like this, it doesn't have armor. No armor. And a zealot has actually low damage with double attacks, with decent attack speed. So armor fucks zealots over quite a lot, actually. Armor is actually good. It makes your buildings last substantially longer. Now, as well, because the zealot does 16, 16, 16, 16, but with armor it's going to do 14, 14, 14, 14. So it's going to change a bit of it. It's going to help your buildings last longer. But again, when it's under construction, it doesn't have armor, so it takes full damage. And then if your Roachborn was done, you could have actually started. If you were feeling really intimidated, you're like, ah, fuck, I'm scared. I'm not fully saturated yet. And he's got zealots smacking my wall down. I'm getting scared. You could have made roaches because your Roachborn would have been done. You could have started making roaches. And even if your Roachborn dies, roaches pop out and they help your spines and shit. Kill the rest. Easy. If you would have had 3 spines here and 2 queens, honestly, I feel like you probably could have just fully saturated your bases and not cared at all until you were fully saturated. But even if you had like 3 spines here and you were feeling really scared and you made like 5 roaches plus 3 spines plus 2 queens, you would have absolutely dumped on this. Like easy. Super easy. Alright. And now you're just dead. Because Zerglings are not ideal against mass zealots. And then, you know, you wanted roaches. And now all your build makes no sense, right? You went for like gas, for a layer. Your Roachborn's dead. Your natural's dead. You're competing now against 4 gates with 1 hatchery. And I'm going to tell you right now, that's not the same thing. 4 gates is not the same thing as 1 hatchery in terms of production. That's much more of an advantage for 4 gates. It's all good. Yo, Lundro, much love, man. All the ways we just talked about will definitely be how you could defend this in general. Like, if you just, you know, again, the spine crawler thing and the wall off thing would have been huge against this because it buys you time because he's all-inning you while you're teching. That's why you got to think about that concept as well. This is the final thing I'll say. If you were going for really fast roaches, if your build was, okay, I'm going to go for a 16 hatch, 18 pool, 20 gas with a 21 roach warren. Like, I'm going to make a really fast roach warren. The second my pool's done, roach warren. If that was your build, I would not be like, dude, you need spines and you need a wall off. Because if your build was just to go for really fast roaches, you would have been fine. But because you're going to go roaches through tech, and you're going to go for, you know, your build is actually, you're going to take natural, you're going to drone it up, fully saturate that shit. You're going to take a layer. At layer, you're then going to start making roaches. Your build is tech related, and if your build is tech related, you definitely have to take some extra precautions to not die when someone is all-inning you like this. So making the wall in that sense for the BDGM style makes 100% sense because you're teching. I hope that makes sense. Because again, he's all-inning you really fast, and he's going to definitely hit you before you're ready, just like this game was, if you don't react to it at all. Wait. Oh, okay. Anyways, Lundrel, I hope that all makes sense. And the last thing I'll say is, even though he killed your roach one, again, if it was made faster, it would have had more hit points. It would have also had armor, so it would have lasted longer. Plus, if you had spines, if you had 3 spines and 2 queens at the wall, like we kept talking about, you would have been killing zealots as he tried to kill your wall, and it would have thinned out. The damage on the zealots would have been less on your wall because it would have had armor, plus the zealots would have been dying off as you're smacking it, so the damage goes lower and lower and lower and lower, then eventually gets eliminated. Because he engaged your wall with 4 zealots. And it takes a spine crawler. Now let's look at this last thing. We'll look at this last thing and we'll stop. We'll look at this last thing and we'll stop. It takes a spine crawler and 2 queens, I would say roughly, we'll say 3 seconds to kill a zealot. Seriously. It would take those units 3 seconds to kill a zealot together. Like 3 spines and 2 queens would kill a zealot. 3 seconds later, kill a zealot. 3 seconds later, kill a zealot. Now let's look at how long he was hitting your shit for. I guarantee it was more than 12 seconds for 4 zealots. Now think about it like this. This is a math thing here. So he starts smacking your wall at 3:30. And we'll just start it right now, because he's going to clearly be in range now of your spines and your queens to get smacked by you as well. At 3:30, he's going to lose 1 of his 4 zealots. Or 3:33, rather. 1 of those 4 zealots would be dead right now. So that would mean that his DPS would be 25% lower for the rest of the time. Another zealot would be dead right now. His DPS would be 50% lower than it was initially at this point in time. Another one of his zealots would be dead right now, which would be another 75% lower than it was initially. And then now he would have a second zealot arriving to back up the first zealot. And your wall would, first of all, it would have had more hit points because it would have been done. It would have started at full health. Again, it would have had armor, and you would have been killing DPS as it was on it. So that DPS gets deleted. It's not just always going to be smacking it. So your wall would have not even have died, in my opinion, if you had 3 spines and 2 queens. So that would have been huge. Yeah. It would have been huge. I hope that makes sense, though. Just definitely no reaction at all, really, to the 4 gate. You just got to react to it the way we talked about, and you'll be way better off. Yeah. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Much love. Shout out to Lundrel. You know, obviously everyone's learning StarCraft, so a lot of people will be like, I know Lundrel, I apologize on everyone's behalf for giving you shit about making spores. Like, it's kind of funny, but at the same time, like, he probably, I don't think Lundrel made a spore crawler because he's like, spore crawler is gonna kill zealots. He made it because he thought there was a chance there could be an oracle, and that's the classic problem of players in low league where they think their opponent can do everything. They're like, my opponent can literally do anything. I have no idea. Fuck, oracles could be coming. I don't know. But in reality, as soon as you see how early you saw this, you know what he's doing. It's impossible to have a Stargate because you don't have infinity money. You cannot have infinite amounts of money in this game. You have to pick and choose what you want to do. And he definitely picked and chose a Zealot all-in with 4 gates. So yeah, definitely needed to make spines. And if you did that, your life would have been so easy. But thank you guys for watching. I will see you in the next one, everybody. Until then, good luck in your own games. And go check out more videos if you guys want to learn some more. Until then, peace, guys. Take it easy.